Hi everybody, I'm Sheree from the Monroe County Library System, and welcome to this month's Sharing Stories video. November is Native American Heritage Month, so I have a lot of books to show you this month that are by and about Native American Indians. One of my favorites is Thunder Boy Jr. This is about a little boy who hates his name. Maybe some of you can relate to that. I've never always loved my name. But he finds out in talking with his dad and understanding where his name came from that it's a very powerful and wonderful name. And in the end, he's proud to have it. I also want to show you Sheree's Big Voice. This is about one of the first Native American women to go to the U.S. Congress. She's from Kansas. I want to mention that this is a Vox book. I don't know if you can see the edge here. Vox books are books that will read the book to you. So when you check them out, they're fully charged. You turn them on and it will read the book and tell you when to turn the pages. You can also plug headphones into it. So if you want to have somebody read to you or you want to listen to a book quietly, you can do it that way. This is We Are the Water Protectors. And it is stories about how Native Americans are caretakers of the land, who value the water and nature, and how even in today's world, they are still standing up for the land and its needs. This is We Are Still Here, and this is a book about Native Americans in America in general, displaced from their land, but still here and still fighting to keep their people together, their culture together, and again, be wonderful custodians of the land. There's some chapter books that are great stories about Native Americans. This is The Sea in Winter, and this talks about a girl who loves the sea, loves fishing, but she has had a terrible accident and is now trying to regain her physical abilities. In the meantime, her parents are trying to keep her connected to all the things they love about the sea that they live near. This is Res Dogs, a fantastic novel in verse. I've talked to you sometimes about these where instead of just pages of writing in prose, it's told from the author's point of view in simpler verse. And it's about a girl who is visiting her grandparents at their home on an Indian reservation when the COVID pandemic hits. And when the shutdown happens, she is then having to stay with her grandparents, and it's about learning more about how they live and how to get through this pandemic by the community still being able to come together. It's a really fast read, and I loved everything about that one. This is I Can Make This Promise. And it's the story of an adopted girl who begins to find out that her heritage goes back farther than she imagined, and she goes searching for her birth mother, who is a Native American, and finds a family she never expected. And I also want to mention Ancestor Approved. This is a series of short stories about all different kinds of Native American tribes by a lot of different authors. There's stories, there's poems, there's short stories, and you get a really wonderful idea of all the amazing ways that Indigenous people celebrate their history and also their present. For older readers, I want to mention Code Talker. This is by Joseph Bruchac, and it is the story of Native American code makers, Navajo code makers in World War II. The story is real and true, but this particular telling has fictional characters, and when they are little boys, the main characters are taken from their homes, their Navajo parents and communities, and put in boarding schools where they're supposed to learn how to be more American. They cut their hair, they don't allow them to use their language, they want them to learn all the ways of Western white people. But it then moves into the 1940s when the United States is involved in the Second World War, and things are going very badly because the Germans keep breaking all the military codes that the Americans have. Somebody has the idea to try to find native Navajo speakers to create a code, and these two boys are called into service. And they do create that code, and in fact, it was an unbreakable code until just recently. So fantastic fictional story, but based on a very true event. I also want to mention An Indigenous People's History of the United States for Young People. This is a book that was written about Indigenous people in the Americas, and it came out primarily for adults, but it's been rewritten into a young people's edition, and it has all kinds of stories and facts and maps and pictures and biographies. So it's a wonderful all over read. November 11th is World Kindness Day, so I also wanted to bring some incredible books about kindness. There is All Are Welcome, Room for Everyone. One of my favorite stories of kindness, and I've read this to some of you, is Stick and Stone. Stick and Stone meet up and form a fast friendship and teach Pinecone a little something about kindness. I love this book so much and have read it over the years, but there is now a new beginning reader book, Stick and Stone Explore and More. So it picks up their friendship and shows how their kindness continues on. This is an illustrated book, not quite a graphic novel, but a wonderful, as I say, beginning reader. And I also have several books that kind of cross over between the idea of Native American heritage and kindness. One of the most impressive books I've read lately is 2 Degrees. This is by the amazing Alan Gratz, and I've talked to you about his books before. This is the brand new one, and it's all about the effect of climate change on the lives of 3 children. One is a girl in California who is caught up in a terrible wildfire. A second one is about a girl in Florida who is in the middle of a terrible hurricane, and I read this book like a week after Hurricane Ian, and it brought it to life amazingly. And the third story is about a boy and his indigenous friend in Alaska who are finding out that as the ice caps begin to melt, the polar bears in their area are getting braver and bolder in their hunger and put them in terrible danger when they come looking for food. It's an amazing read in and of itself, and then all 3 stories come together, and it reminds us how important it is to take care of the earth. A second book that combines care of nature and kindness is Otter, and I hope that you can see how cute this guy is. So this is about a young otter pup who loses his mom and is brought in by humans to the Monterey Bay Aquarium where he's nursed back to health, and as a young pup, the humans try to teach him how to survive in the wild. But humans are not otters, and they cannot teach them everything they need to know. And when he comes back to the aquarium with another injury, the humans decide to try to make Otter part of their new program where they have abandoned pups adopted by other otters who live at the aquarium. This is based on a true story, so you can look it up online and get all kinds of cool information and see pictures of the otters and their adopted pups. Otter is written by Catherine Applegate, and she's the author of The One and Only Ivan, so if you've read that, you know what an amazing writer she is. It's a fantastic fictional story, again, a novel in verse, told by Otter himself as he goes through his experiences, but based on the true story that you can find out more about online. This is Cress Watercress. And when this book first came, I thought I would not like it at all because it's obviously about rabbits, and I have a thing about books about rabbits. I don't like them, but I thought I should give it a chance, and I'm so glad that I did because once again, we can't judge a book by its cover. It's an amazing story about a rabbit family who has to leave their comfy home and move into a smaller home at the base of a tree that is filled with nosy neighbors who have lots of things to say and ways to get involved with the rabbit family, and the youngest rabbit, Cress, is not a fan. It's funny, it's amazing. It's written by Gregory Maguire, who wrote Wicked and The True Story of the Wicked Witch of the West, and he brings us now this amazing book. I can't say enough good things about it, bringing nature and the idea of kindness together again. I hope that you enjoy all these titles. If you are interested in more information about Native American Heritage Month, you can look online at the National Museum of the American Indian. That's NMAI. If you Google that, you will see amazing things from the Smithsonian Museum about how to celebrate and honor Native American Heritage Month. World Kindness Day, I hope you're all kind to each other. Remember that you can always go onto our website at mymcls.com. There's no space in there, mymcls.com. And you can find all the library branches, the hours they're open, and the phone numbers. You can call us with any questions, and we hope you come check out some amazing books for yourself. Have a great month.